absolutely pumping here tonight. What a huge crowd for the backbenchers Wellington Central candidates show. Now the Greens, they want to get tough. They want to get tough on polluters, promising a pollution tax to be reinvested back into sustainable farming. So let's ask James Shaw. How's it going to work?
The idea is that you actually charge for the pollution itself, and then what you do is you reinvest all of that money back into the farming community so that farmers who want to apply for some support to get from where they are now to where they want to be in the future have got those funds available. Because I think it's unreasonable, actually, to say to a group of people who, many of whom are very in debt, actually now is the time we want you to do something else without us putting, skin in the game. So
okay, yeah. All right, James. All right, the person next to you, the national candidate, she once managed 23 farms across the country, so she can probably tell you whether you're talking crap or not.
Yeah, that's right.
And where is the crap?
She can tell. So, is James telling the truth? What do you make of what James says?
A water tax won't clean up a single river. I have been in gumboots with farmers, walking alongside them, and I'll tell you what they're doing to clean up rivers. What they're doing is they are planting trees, they are putting in fences, they are improving their effluent systems, they are changing the way they apply fertiliser. They are doing these things, and we need to back them and work with them to do more to clean up our rivers.
Strong words, Grant, and strong words. 23 farms she managed.
And yet, amazingly, Wallace, after all of that, our rivers are more polluted than ever. So all of that's happened, and our rivers are more polluted than ever.
What's your plan, Grant? What's your plan, Grant?
I think you know what our plan is, Nicola.
It's not just the vision. It's not just the values.
So our plan, Wallace, is to say to farmers, we will charge a levy of 1 to 2 cents per 1,000 litres, and we'll take the money from that, and all of it will get spent on cleaning up our rivers. Because Nicola can stand here and say everything's fine. Every single person out there knows that our rivers are more polluted than ever.
Okay. Let's bring in New Zealand first. What do you make of? You travel around the region. So who do you side with more, the Greens, Labour, or Nicola?
Well, I think the reality is we know that our rivers are in a terrible state, so we've got to do something about it. No, I'm not going to side with you, Nicola. No, we know that the rivers are in a terrible state, therefore we need to do something about it. Whether the mechanism that James is suggesting is the right one, how do you measure it? How do you get it right? Because if you're going to tax somebody, you've actually got to get exactly the right number. So, yeah, fewer cows, and all the sort of things that Nicola's talking about in terms of fencing and planting along waterways.
Okay, James.
So
the
government is spending hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer money cleaning up the pollution in our rivers, right?
That's right.
Wouldn't it be better if we just stopped polluting them in the first place?
Yes.
Going about with irrigation, they're going backwards.
What farmers are doing.
But
they are working hard up and down the country.
All right.
We have set...
I'm just going to jump in with a little factoid and then go to Charlotte. But I've just read the OECD report. Do you know that, Nicola, and I understand what you're saying, you've seen 23 farms, you manage them, but New Zealand's nitrate leaching has now worsened more than any other OECD country in the last 20 years. We are the worst.
There is more work to do.
We are the worst.
There is a lot more work to do. And I am confident that our farmers will do that work because there are tougher standards now and they are doing more than they've ever done. 25,000 kilometres worth of fences.
Okay, all right, let's go to Charlotte.
Wallace, I'm with James Hutchinson from KiwiNet. Now, you guys are all about innovation, right? Do you think that you have some innovation ideas for Kiwi farmers to deal with this problem?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a classic problem for New Zealand that we just need to science the shit out of. Yeah. Like, quite seriously.
What do you mean?
Well, so farming is a really important export industry for New Zealand, right?
Yeah.
So we can actually still increase the productivity of our farming, as well as reducing the environmental impact by using some of our amazing science and innovation that we've already got in this New Zealand, putting a bit more support behind it, creating new products and technologies that are going to give more tools to farmers to be able to reduce the environmental impact of their practices.
Have you seen any of these new tools?
We've got lots of stuff. There's heaps of stuff coming out at the moment. Ways to reduce...
Why don't we do it now, then?
Well, that's it. Invest in commercialisation of our research, and we will be there.
Welcome to the innovators. There's a whole couple of tables of them, actually. Shall I ask this guy, if you don't mind, Wallace, because you were yelling out quite passionately, weren't you?
Yeah. What did you ask me?
Who were you disagreeing with, or who were you agreeing with?
Well, I don't agree with the welfare cheats of the Greens. Because they just cheat. And
The
cheat.
Greens cheat.
Yes. They
Really?
steal from the taxpayer. Yes.
What? Who are you going to vote for this election?
Well, obviously, I'm going to vote for a sensible government, which is obviously Bill English and the National Party.
Moving right along. Wallace?
Dr. Pat, he's been on the campaign trail with every national candidate that I've run against, and it's the first time I've seen him in this campaign. So, g'day, Pat. Nice to see you again.
Right, okay, bit of in-house there. I want to ask Ben Hurley because, you know, it's about swimmable rivers, and my favourite river was the Mai Tai. I used to sort of swim. You could see the stones. It's a bit dirty now. Ben Hurley, what about you? Where was your favourite river you swim in?
The Tangahoi River, near where I grew up in South Taranaki, and when you got out, you had this extra thing. You had this thing on you. They were called flies, and they just sort of stuck to you. And I tell you what, I was pretty appetizing to those flies.
Can you swim in there now? Can you swim
I
in there
can't
now?
imagine it's got any better, Wallace.
I was just thinking about the flies there because it was so gross.
I want to go around the
that's
panel. I want to ask you, James, Nicola, Grant, and Andy. Can you have a healthy river? Can you have healthy rivers and a healthy economy? Can they coexist?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Can they?
Of
Absolutely.
course.
Yeah.
And
Of
that's
course
got to
they
be
can.
what we're actually going to be working towards now. I mean, we actually have to, this is more broad than just the issue of water. This is actually the issue of how we create a low carbon economy. And instead of seeing it as a massive challenge and barrier, we've got to grasp the opportunity of these innovators who are sitting right here tonight and make that our challenge of this century to grow that low carbon
Is it a
economy.
nice to have?
No.
Is it a nice to have?
It's not a nice to have, it's a must have.
Is it a nice to have? Healthy rivers and a healthy economy. Can we do the? Can we have the same
that is
thing?
kind of like saying, would you prefer me to cut off your hands or your feet, right? I mean, it's a false choice. The economy depends on the environment, especially our primary industries, especially tourism. They've got to go hand in hand. If you trade them off now, there won't be a primary industry sector in 40 years' time. So absolutely, you've got to do that. And Wallace, I mean, the things that Nicola's talking about, they are happening. The things that guy over there was talking about, they are happening.
Right.
The thing, you know, we've got to get past this like town versus country
Yes.
thing. The way that the debate has
All
been
right.
framed is completely wrong.
Okay.
We absolutely need to fix
Healthy
this problem,
rivers-
all of us together.
Healthy rivers and a healthy economy, Nicola, can they coexist, or is it a nice to have?
Absolutely. Look, James has just agreed with me. I agree with him. The only person I'm feeling sorry for is him because Grant keeps stealing all his
Feel
lines.
sorry for me, Nicola.
Grant keeps
All right,
stealing
feel
all his
sorry.
lines, and
All
so
right,
does
okay.
Jacinda.
Stop promoting a National Greens government. We'll come to you in the next break, Andy, but what do you think? Hashtag backbenchers with an ES. Next up, international relations, North Korea, a biggie.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.